Welcome to Introduction to Java Programming by Y. Daniel Yang, 8th edition. Chapter 2, Elementary Programming. Problem number 2. Write a program that reads in the radius and length of a cylinder and computes the volume using the following formulas. These are the following formulas. So from the radius and the length of the cylinder, I want to compute the volume, but first I would have to compute the area. So to start, in order to allow the program to read in the radius and length, I'm gonna need to prompt the user to enter the values of the radius and length. So I'm gonna need to import the scanner class, which is located in the package java.util. And here I imported the scanner. Now I can deploy a scanner object. I'll name this reference as input equal new scanner, and inside the parentheses system dot in to allow the scanner object to read my values from inside the system. Let me comment this real quick. Scanner reference to read input from the user. Next, reads in the radius and length. I'm gonna need to deploy two variables. The first variable representing the radius and the second variable representing the length. So I'll deploy these variables as double, as the double data type, which represents decimal numbers. So double, the first variable I'll name as radius. So let me comment this as double variable that carries the radius value. Next, another double, name it length, and I'll comment it as double variable that carries the length value. Alright, so let me see what other variables I need. I'm gonna need the value of pi. So the value of pi, I can take it as 3.14. So I'm gonna deploy it here. Double pi equal 3.14 for this exercise. So I'll just comment it as pi. Now the value of pi shouldn't be changed throughout this Java program. Now in case I want a variable in which its value doesn't change, I can deploy this variable as a final. Using the final keyword allows this variable to become a constant where its value cannot change throughout the program. So let's say radius is a variable. First I start with radius equal 5, and I want to print the radius. Let me run it. 5.0, because radius is a double variable, not an integer. And now here, if I want to change the value of pi equal 4, we see here I got an error. cannot assign value to final variable pi. And if I also run it, maybe it would tell me in the error message, Java cannot assign a value to final variable pi. Yeah, so that's the difference between a constant and a variable. So let's see what variables I need next. The volume and the area. Okay, let me start by deploying the area. So double area commented as area value to be computed. Same thing for the volume. So volume value to be computed. Okay, so now I can start. Oh, and I almost forgot, at the end of every program I should close the scanner. Something very important. So scanner reference input, calling the function close. Okay, let me start now. So the first step is prompting the user to enter the cylinder radius and length. So as out statement, enter the value of the radius followed by the length. So let me start by assigning the value of radius. So radius equal input dot calling the function next double, since I want to assign a double value. So let me run it this time. Let me first print real quick. So we saw in the last exercise, if I want to input a value, I can do it as simple as that, 6.5. But here I want to input two values. So let me assign length equal input dot next double. Now if I run it this time, the radius is 6.5. Just printed the radius. So if I want to input two values, I start by inputting the first value followed by a space, then the second value. So if I set to print the length on the next line and I run it, 5.4, and the length to be 3.2. There we go. It printed the radius, then it printed the length. So that's how we input more than one value. Every value is separated by a space. Every two values are separated by a space. So now that I have the values of radius and length, I'm gonna proceed to compute the value of area. So computing the value of the area. So area is equal to pi r squared. So radius times radius times pi. Okay, so now that I have the value of area, I'm gonna use that area to compute the volume. So now computing the volume of the cylinder. So volume is equal to area times the length. Now I have the value of volume. So now I'll just display the result. So now displaying the result. The volume is space, then outside the quote with a plus and the value of volume. Basically it. So let me run it. 5 and 6. The volume is 471. Okay, and there's another way. If I want to compute r squared, instead of just writing down radius times radius, I can call another Java library, which is called math dot math dot function called power, as in power. So the first value it takes is the number, and the second value it takes is the exponent. So 2 as in radius power 2, or radius times radius. So 5, 6. Okay, now let me run it again. 5 and 6. The same result. The volume is 471. Now we can see here that I called the math class without importing it. That's because there's a Java package that's automatically imported in every Java program. And this package is called java.lang. Where's the math? You can see java.lang contains the math class. And if we look at this, system is also a class. So if I type again java.lang, we can see this is the class system that's being used to print our statements. So this the case where a Java package is automatically imported in our Java program. This is a case called implicit import. And the case where we specifically import a particular class from a particular Java package is the case of specific import. And there's a case where we can import all of the classes of a particular Java package. Let's say import java dot let's say here IO, and let's say I want to import all of these classes, so I can use an asterisk. Like that, I'm importing all of the Java classes located in this Java package. This case is called the wildcard import. Okay, so basically we're done with this program. So like this, we would have written a program that reads in the radius and the length, computes the area, and computes the volume before displaying it in the console.